Hello, and welcome to, I believe this would like to be called Messages of Love, Light, and Truth with Shannon Grace. I've been sitting with this for a bit and just letting things percolate a little and get clear for me. But I woke up in the middle of the night and had some things intuitively coming to me, and I finally got clear on, how am I meant to present what I would like to be offering, because I don't actually like to think much about things anymore relating to what I have to offer and the skills that I'm meant to share and what I'm meant to share with people, because what I do comes from my heart, and it comes from the universe and from intuition and from messages. So to always be trying to think about what I should be doing or what I should be saying or what I should be calling what I'm doing and saying just became irrelevant for me. So what this series, we could call it a series, what this series is going to be called is Messages of Love, Light, and Truth with Shannon Grace. And it just include me speaking to you through what I'm receiving. So I'm an intuitive channel. I am also passionate about personal growth and like figuring out life and figuring things out and getting clarity and getting truth and getting answers and finding solutions and pertaining to everything relating to life, whether it's, health, happiness, success, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic. It really doesn't matter because it's all interconnected. And so I love to talk, and I love to have conversations, and I love to figure things out, but I also love to help other people figure things out. And so, but I just was, I was a little bit uncertain, and for those of you that know me, like, I'm getting the word shy, but for those of you that know me, like, I'm not shy, but I do have, I guess, self-conscious is a word that I do have from time to time, pertaining to these skills and that all of this out of the box stuff that I have going on. However, if we give in to our fears, we don't accomplish anything in life. And so I've been working through my fears and understanding my fears so that they no longer exist. And here I am, and I'm ready, and I'm excited, and it just feels right that I'm at this point where I can just record myself receiving messages that are meant to help people and probably for me too, help me too. And the fun part is that I'm not going to know ahead of time at all what I'm going to be talking about. I'm just supposed to hit record and just allow the messages to come through. And so the messages are coming to me in an energetic way, or in a feeling, or in it's like I can feel the energy of them. But then for whatever reason, I've been able to, well, actually I do know it's coming to me, because I've done a lot of work on myself to clear my mind and clear my heart and clear my soul and just continue to grow and learn and heal and evolve. These skills and these abilities that I feel are naturally here for most of us, or all of us in some way, shape, or form, they open up, and it's like all of a sudden I've cleared off all the piles of gunk that were on top of these skills and on top of these abilities for a long time, and now I'm able, it's just like I just have them. And it's just been through the work that I have been doing, on myself and in my life, and the changes that I've been making and the growth that I've been pursuing, I guess the word is. I've been intentionally pursuing growth on purpose. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, now I've got this, and now I feel this, and now I can receive this, and I can translate it. So that's what I would like to share with you, because so many times when it comes through for me, or when I'm working with someone one-on-one, or when I'm in a group, the insights that come, and it's like the knowledge that comes, or the clarity that comes is amazing, and it's awesome, and it's so helpful. So I just want to get it out. I just want to get it out to people, and this is a format that enables me to do that. I just had to get over my own insecurities and my own fears and my own uncertainties about, well, what will people think, and how will it be received, and what if people judge me, and all of that goes with insecurities. So it's that in itself has been a journey for me, which is of course. So what I would like to do is just tune in, and just share whatever messages and insights and images and whatever comes through that is meant to, with the premise, or with the intention that it's all coming from love, light, and truth. So however you perceive that, whether it's universe or God, or like the divine, or source, or nature, or whatever it may be, I just feel that using the term love, light, and truth kind of like includes everything that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I think is very important for us to be focusing on, and that our focus could be more on love, light, and truth, because there's a lot of other things that are not that, all around us at all times. So I'm just gonna take a moment just to kind of take a couple breaths and tune in and just see what comes to me, and we will go from there. So I'm excited to see what comes through, and what would like to be shared today. So just give me a moment. So I'm seeing, as soon as I close my eyes, I see the sun, but I'm only seeing half of the sun, and the rays, like I can clearly see the rays of sun shining down. Like it's almost like, it's actually looking like a paper image, like artwork, like kids artwork almost, where it's like construction paper, and there's half of a sun, and then the little yellow, like little lines of yellow paper that are coming down. And then as I'm looking at the rest of the picture, so I'm expanding my imagery, and I'm able to see like a blue sky and white mountain tops, and then kind of like a gray mountains, and then I'm seeing like little animals, like it's showing me like mountain goat type of things, and then green grass. And what I'm getting is that like life could be very peaceful, and life is meant to be very peaceful. But then I see from my right is just like these swirls, and it's just like chaos, and the swirls, it's kind of in a tornado shape, but the swirls are like black in color, or very dark in color. And I guess that's what because I was like, why am I wearing an elastic on my arm? And it's kind of bothering me, but I was trying to ignore it, and now I can't, because this elastic is tight and restrictive, and it's black, and I'm using this arm to with the elastic on it to represent the swirls. So I'm just going to take it off actually, so that it doesn't bother me anymore. And I just see that there's chaos and there's thoughts and there's like emotions are like, I'm just seeing emotional energy is caught up in the swirls. And it's almost like the emotions are tied up and twisted up within the swirls. But I'm just seeing that like initially chaos was the cause of the swirls, which then it just kind of came into being more, like with emotions and your thoughts, and like then all of a sudden there's a lot of energy attached to the swirls, and the chaos keeps the emotions and the thoughts going, and the emotions and the thoughts keep the chaos going. It's like what is it like one hand feeds the mouth that's feeding the other mouth, or something like that, but like they're working hand in hand. I don't always get my sayings perfect, but I will always try to get my message across of like, it's like one hand, yeah, they're working hand in hand to keep each other going, basically. And I do see like it's not affecting the sun and it's not affecting the mountains, and it's like it is affecting the grass when it touches down and like stirs the grass all up and kind of like rips up the grass, but it's affecting the animals and it's affecting our ability to experience the sun and experience the mountains and experience nature, because this chaos energy is just kind of like, yeah, it's interfering. It's affecting our ability to live life to the fullest. There we go. I just got a little translation there of what that message means. The chaos is affecting our ability to live life to the fullest, because like the sun is the sun and the sun doesn't change, but when we have chaos that comes in between us and the sun, it's as though the sun is affected, but it's not affected. We're affected because there's swirls between us and our ability to experience the sun. Same as with the sky, same as with the mountains, same as with nature, same as with the animals in nature. And so I'm just going to pause for a moment because I feel like I got that message, like that particular insight. And I'm just getting now like, where in your life do you have chaos? And I'm hearing a bunch of people, like intuitively, I'm hearing people that are coming to me or that I'm connecting to, just saying like everywhere. Like I feel chaos everywhere. And I understand what that feels like. Because I felt it myself. Like I felt like every area of my life was so chaotic, and there was emotions attached to it, and there was swirls attached to it, and it's like I couldn't even enjoy what was around me because there was so many swirls and so much chaos, and just like, again, they were working hand in hand to keep each other going and keep each other alive and brewing, so to speak. And so when the universe sends me the question like, well, where in your life do you feel chaos? That question is for me, but it's also for you. I'm just sharing that question with you. And it's meant to give you the opportunity to be truthful with yourself and to look honestly at your life and at your relationships and with your dynamics, and like be honest with yourself and answer truthfully. Because when we're lying to ourselves, or when we're putting the wool over our eyes, or when we're in denial, or we're in ignorance, it just like The truth is still there. We just are refusing to see it. But the longer that we refuse to see the truth of whatever the situation is, the bigger and stronger it gets, because it just keeps feeding itself and feeding each other. And it's almost like, if a wheel starts rolling on in a slope, I was thinking decline, like in a decline angle, the wheel will roll forever until someone shoves something in it, or until life flatlines, which then that's the end. That's the end of our particular wheel. And so it's just kind of showing, like, once something is set in motion and it's set in a certain direction, it will naturally, like laws of physics or motion or gravity or whatever, it will continue to go in that direction until something stops it, until something changes it, or until something happens that like corrects it. And so that for me is why it's so important for us to be honest with ourselves and to be truthful with ourselves and to like look honestly, because I refer a lot to these types of swirly situations as like a runaway train, because it gets on that track and it just keeps getting more and more and more fuel from the energy of the chaos itself. And before you know it, you feel like it's out of control, or you've gone too far and you don't know how to get it back. You don't know how to stop it. And I mean, that's a slippery slope. And I know that slope as well, because I also was on that. And, I've been saving this, story, I guess, for a few weeks now, because I just didn't feel like it was the right time to share it. But in my mind's eye, it came to me, and it's like, okay, Shannon, like now it's time to share this, share a part of my journey with you. So it was about like 2012, 2011, 2010, basically like early on in the past decade. So we're in 2020 now, or I'm in 2020 now, and I don't know when you will watch this, but I'm in 2020 right now. And early on in the 2010 decade, I had a real moment of holy shit. Like, I had a holy shit moment, because I had been working so hard my whole life to make a good life for myself and to be successful and be happy and be healthy. And it was like, I just really wanted to be healthy and happy and successful in my life. That was what I wanted. And like, there were some certain details that I knew that I wanted, but when you take a step back from the details and you just look at like the overall picture, I was like, I just want to be healthy and happy and successful. Like that's all that I want. And that was what I was striving towards. And I feel like that's what a lot of people's goals are. And so I set out to be, do, and have that. Like after high school, like that was my plans. Like I just want to be healthy and happy and have a good life and have some success in my life and do well for myself. But by 2010, like earlier than that, but things really started to like that decline, like things really started to decline. And yeah, it had been going on for a while before that. Because I graduated, I'm going to let you all know how old I am, but I graduated high school in 1997, and it had kind of just been a bit of like a slow decline from there with certain things in my life. And so anyway, around 2010, I had this huge breakdown of holy shit, I am not happy, I am not healthy, and I feel like a failure, and I feel like my life is poop. And it was a really, really big, loud wake-up call for me, because I had been working my whole life up until that point to just be healthy and happy and like have good times. And when I realized that truthfully I was not that, I hit a big brick wall and I didn't know where to go. All I knew was that I could not continue forward on that track any longer. And it basically took all of the willpower that I had to be able to get past that point and move in one direction or another, because I could not continue forward. And because I couldn't keep lying to myself anymore. It's like there were cracks showing everywhere of this perfect image that I had tried to create, and this perfect person that I pretended to be, and this perfect life that really was making me very unhappy. And so I chose to figure it out, and I chose to find answers, and I chose to find solutions, and I chose to like get like a little fire under my butt and not stop and not give up until I was happy. And I know happy was the biggest thing for me. Like I wanted my health back. And I wanted to like find something in my life that like filled my cup, but my biggest drive was happiness. And so from about 2011, 2012, I had this moment at the end of 2019 where it's like I didn't even realize it was the end of a decade, to be quite honest with you. I just knew, I was like, the end of the year is coming, the end of 2019 is coming. And it wasn't until like very late in December that I realized, I think I heard it on the radio or something. I was like, holy crap, it's the end of a decade. It's not just the end of a year. Like this is monumental. Like this is a whole ending of a decade and the start of a new decade. And I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden I thought back to the last decade and I'm like, holy crap, am I ever glad that decade is coming to an end? Because it kicked my ass. Like it kicked me so hard. However, the decade before that, I was just setting myself up to crash. So it's like the decade before, so from like 2000 till 2010, I was setting myself up to crash. And then from 2010 to 2019 was like crashing, but then cleaning up and like dealing with everything and working through everything. And I've been really like I've had resistance to be willing to share with you that it's taken me like 8 years of committed, dedicated, like nose to the grindstone, like pedal to the metal, like work until my knuckles are bleeding kind of work to get happy and get healthy again and find myself so that I can actually like create like what I'm meant to create and be who I'm meant to be as far as like my career goes. And it's like I actually didn't want to share that it took me 8 years because I didn't want that to be a detriment to other people who want to be happy and who are working on being happy and who are like pursuing like the pursuit of happiness. I called this like, this is my pursuit of happiness. Like from 2012 to the end of 2019 has been my pursuit of happiness. But what happened for me was, like, I, for whatever reason, was just meant to be someone that, like, had to go through the forest and, like, figure things out and cut down a bunch of trees and, like, pave the way, or, like, make a trail. Like, I started out by just, like, I'm just gonna make a trail. I've got to go through this forest of life confusion, and of health confusion, and of happiness confusion, and of relationships confusion, and, like, every aspect of my life confusion. I'm like, I had to go through that alone in the dark, without a light and without anyone beside me for most of it, because I was meant to do that. I was meant to be someone that paved a way, or found a way through the darkness that was maybe a little bit different than anybody else, or maybe take it a little bit further than other people have. And so as 2019, the end of 2019 was approaching, I realized, it's like, holy crap. I look back on this past decade. Holy crap. In that moment, I gave myself some credit, because I'm like, I am a freaking trooper. Like, I am a trooper. I didn't even realize how much of a trooper I was. And actually, someone called me like a warrior queen or something like that the other day. And I was like, I am a warrior queen, because I have gone through and dug into and dealt with so much stuff that needed to heal, needed to change, needed to shift, needed to grow, needed to be released, needed to be known. Like it's been monumental, and it has been quite the journey. However, for those of you who are hearing this, I don't want you to get discouraged that it took me 8 years to get to a point where I can honestly say, like, I've reached a new level of happiness that I've never ever been at before, and it's more consistent. And I'm not going to say there isn't dips, because there are dips, because life throws us dips all the time. But it's how we bounce after we bounce back after we have those dips that matters. Like, it's not about so much the dip, but how we handle the dip that counts. And so I'm just here to share with you, it's being given to me to share with you, that once you go through something, so like for me, I went through the forest of hell, and the forest of darkness, and the forest of confusion, and the forest of fakeness, and the forest of it's good enough, and the forest of every forest that I could that I didn't even know that I was in. I went through all of it. And yes, it took me a long time, but holy crap, I have learned so much from that, and I never gave up. And I never, there were times where I, gave in and felt exhausted and felt defeated and felt frustrated and had, a pity party. But I just had to keep going, because something in me just kept saying, you've got to keep going. You're not there yet. Don't settle. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep searching, or keep plowing, or whatever it may be. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And I did. And by December of 2019, when I look at my life, I was like, holy smack. I was at the start of that decade, I was so broken and so unhappy and so just done. And I had no hot clue how to get through any of it or to change any of it. I didn't even know how to change any of it. That's why I lied to myself for so long, because I didn't know how to change any of it. And I didn't know what was causing it. And so I've gone through that. But what I've learned and what I've realized and what's opened up and like where I'm able to get insights and clarity and information and truth from, it's like, it's been totally worth it, 100%, but it's also given me this massive toolbox, and like, it's given me this huge plethora. I love the word plethora. It's like, it's a good word for me, but it's given me this huge plethora of knowledge and knowing and experience and wisdom and like skills and connections to all sorts of things that can help not only myself, because when I dip, I instantly know what to do. I instantly know, okay, this is what's happening. I have to do this and figure it out. And like, instead of a 3-month dip, it's like a 3-hour dip before I like bring myself back up and work through it and figure it out. But what I'm saying is, I have so many skills and so much knowledge and so much experience to offer to other people, to help you with your dips and to help you not give up and to help you like one day at a time, one step at a time. But there's a trail now. There's a path. And like, I feel like in the last 2 or 3 years, I've really been paving that path, and I've really been getting clear, and I've really been getting like to the point, so that what took me a year to figure out could take someone else. Well, what I'm getting is like 3 days or 3 weeks. But like, when you think of the difference between like clearing a forest in the dark with no known skills and no known tools, and like finding people along the way who can help and who can offer, compared to like someone starting out on the pursuit of happiness now, where it's like, it's so much better to have a guide. It's so much, and it's not about easier, because you still have to do the work, you still have to do the healing, you still have to have the realizations. But having a guide of someone who has like, yes, I've been there, I understand, and I've got through it. And that's one part, the word right now that's coming to me is authenticity. It's so important to be truthful and honest and authentic with our journey and where we're at and where we've been, and just be honest with ourselves, so that it's like, the more forest I go through, the more I'm able to help someone else with their own forest, right? And the more dips I've been through and like come through the dips back onto flat land again, or even like a higher elevation than what I was at before, it's just, it makes that less traumatic and less confusing for other people who are going through the same thing, and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know like how it happened or why it happened or how to change it. It's just being able to find people who have been through that ourselves. And it's just, I'm here to help. I'm here to help, and I understand the dips, and I understand the darkness, and I understand the confusion, and you know, life is life. But one thing that I found is that you don't have to deal with it alone, and you don't have to go through it alone, because there are people who have gone through those times and had similar types of circumstances that can help you through it as well. in a shorter amount of time with more skills to work with and more knowledge to work with than those before you had. So it's been a really intense, crazy decade for me. However, by the end of it, by the end of 2019, I was really able to look back and reflect and like give myself a pat on the back and give myself some credit, because I just know it's like I have come so far, like truly come so far, and I've dug into things that I never wanted to deal with and I didn't want to, you know, have to ever go through, but I went through them and I survived and I learned from it. And I just feel that, like, as people, we're all in this together. We are all in this together. And, you know, I just know that, like, my path is to go through a lot, but then learn from it and be able to help other people who are going through it as well, whether it's, you know, physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, energetic health, whether it's relationships, whether it's parenting, whether it's like family dynamics, whether it's just that, oh, I don't even know, like what else, like happiness, like the pursuit of happiness. It's about like finding your true self and being your true self. And like it has been a very, very intense decade for me, to say the least. And it, like I say, it wasn't until the very end of 2019 that I even realized it was the end of a decade. But just to sit with who I am now and the peace that I feel within myself and the level of happiness that I feel, and like just the clarity that I have of who I truly am and like what I desire for myself as I move forward in my life. It was a really, okay, so now I'm seeing how it all ties into the chaos that I started out with at the beginning of this conversation. My life was complete chaos, and there were so many swirls, and there was so many emotional baggage and trauma, and there was just like, I couldn't see the sun. What is that? You can't see the forest for the trees. Like, I couldn't see the sun through all the clouds, even though the sun was there all along. And I feel emotional about that because, like, I remember what that felt like. But I'm not there anymore, but I can appreciate how far I've come. And the swirls and the chaos and the emotional baggage and all of that, it is there for us, and it is there whether we want it to be there or not, and it doesn't go away on its own. I tried to ignore it my whole life, and I tried to, like, up until like 2012, I tried to ignore it. I tried to like not have it affect me, and I tried to just like be strong and like do what I wanted to do anyway and be who I wanted to be anyway. But it's like, you can't have the sun, you can't see the sun when there's a huge like miles of clouds in between you and the sun, and you can't have peace when there's swirls of chaos all around you, and you can't have happiness when you're actually miserable. And so that's been my journey this past decade. It's like clearing out the clouds, calming the swirls, and like letting go of the miserableness that I was. I was miserable, but I tried to hide it, but I couldn't anymore. So if this resonates with you at all, if what I'm sharing feels a little bit like your life, or you understand where I'm coming from, I just want to thank you for listening and for connecting with me. But also, I just want to let you know, like, I'm here to help. I'm here to just be a guide, and I'm here to receive messages and insights and clarity to help you. Because when we're in the middle of a swirl, or we're lost in the freaking cloudy fogginess, it's really, really hard for us to see clearly and think clearly for ourselves. And sometimes we just need that neutral observer, or sometimes we just need someone that understands, that can help, like literally like hold our hand and guide us back into the light again, and back into like our hearts again, and back into the truth again. And I just know that that's what I'm meant to do, and that's who I be. It's who I am, and it's who I be, and it's like what I have to offer. So I just want to throw it out there. Please feel free to contact me or message me or visit my website at any time if you would like to connect with me further, or if you would like me to help you receive messages, or to help you get insights, or to help you get out of the darkness, or out of the clouds, or out of the fog, or out of the misery that you found yourself in for whatever reason, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic. It doesn't matter. Misery is misery. It doesn't matter what form it is presenting itself in. So thank you so much for connecting with me today, and for allowing me to connect with you today. And I am sure we will see you again soon, because I'm already being shown that there is a lot more that I am meant to share and express in this format. So thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from me again soon. So bye for now.